Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum, bum. Hello, internet people. Day 4 of game dev. I'm David, and this week has been long, thick, hairy, and girthy. I meant to release this video a lot sooner, but life just kind of got in the way. I've been sick the past few days. Work has just been incredibly busy, and I really didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but I'm happy to share some of my progress today, so stay tuned and let's go check out what I did. So last vlog, I showcased my little sprite that I made in Sprite. Here's my little character. And for this vlog, I'm gonna showcase this little peanut moving around on a 2D plane in a 2D world, as well as the beginnings of me putting this little sprite into a 3D world. So let's go move on over to Godot. So here is my player 2D scene. I have in the top left corner here, a character body 2D node, and a part of that is a sprite 2D node and a collision shape 2D node. So what I've done here is I've added my peanut sprite, and I've given my peanut a collision box so that anything that hits this circle, there'll be a collision that happens. I added a game scene and added my player to the scene. I also added a camera, which is this purple outline right here that you see. This is kind of like the view, so when I run the game, it'll just be this window that you see. I've also added a static body 2D node and a collision shape 2D node, which is you can't see because of this webcam, so let's move this down. We're gonna move it down here. With a world boundary shape 2D, which is this line you see right here. And this is like a horizontal line that seems to go across like the whole 2D plane of existence. We also added just a generic control script to our player, and this is it right here. So this is like the default controls that come out of Godot. This allows me to move left, right, as well as jump with the spacebar. But enough about that. I wanted to showcase my peanut moving around in a 2D world. So let's hit the play button. Aha! Peanut. Oh yeah, I keep thinking it's WASD controls. It is not WASD controls by default, it's actually the arrow keys with the default GD script that you can set up for player control. So let's move the arrow keys. Woohoo! There we go. Moving left to right and then hit the space button. Whoop! 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 And like I was talking about with that world boundary bar, despite it only appearing right here in the camera view here, it seems to go across a whole horizontal axis, which is really interesting. So yeah, that is how you get a 2D character moving around on screen. If anyone wants to copy me, just ask me questions. I can help guide you through this part now. So I think this game's pretty much done. It's ready to ship. I think sticker price 40 bucks is more than adequate for this level of work and detail. Here is my 3D world with my peanut in it. I haven't gone too far on the 3D side yet, but what I do have set up is a node 3D and a sprite 3D node. And with the sprite 3D node, I've added a texture, which is what you see right here. And I've also turned on the flag billboard mode. So billboard mode is enabled, which allows me to see the sprite from any camera angle, despite how I rotate the camera. The one thing that I think is really interesting about this is if I zoom the camera out, my sprite gets smaller, which is going to be the type of 3D detail I want in this 2.5D game that I'm working on. One thing that has been bothering me while working with the Sprite 3D node is for some reason when I import my texture, it compresses it and then the sprite becomes discolored. As you can see, there's some gray / white kind of like band as if this peanut's a robber, which is kind of cool if I wanted to rob a peanut. But that's not what I'm going for. So for some reason, my sprite / texture is being compressed. And I'm not exactly sure why. If I go over here and click on this texture, it says 5 maps, memory is 1.33. but it is compressing it for some reason. If I go over here, does it say compressed? Yeah, it says it's now a compressed texture 2D. And this seems to only happen when I start using my texture in a 3D model. So what I've done here is I've actually uploaded my peanut twice, one for 3D, one for just normal 2D. Oh, interesting. Does this one say compressed too? Oh, this one does say compressed texture 2D. But if I go to my 2D game and click on my Sprite 2D, look at the texture, it doesn't say it's compressed. So I don't know what's going on there, and I actually don't know how to change it. So if anyone knows how to change that, please let me know in the comments. Not a big deal. We'll work through it eventually as I get more and more familiar with the 3D. But what I'm thinking now, after playing around with both 2D and 3D scenes, is I'm going to have some 2D scenes in the game. Some dungeons might be 2D, some dungeons and worlds might be 3D. And I'll kind of mix and match those two styles the best I can. I'm thinking of doing everything in a pixel art style, which I'm kind of scared to try to do in 3D, because on my 3D world I want a 2D plane that is potentially tiled as pixel art, and I'm just not exactly sure how I'm going to accomplish that yet, but that is going to be one of my challenges in a future vlog. And for now, I'm going to keep learning as much as I can about Godot, see if I can get some controls set up in my 3D world, and see if I can start adding some more detail to my scenes. And I'm hoping to eventually have myself just move around maybe a fleshed out little test level, where I have some walls, I have a 2D plane in the 3D world, as well as working on my 2D levels, and whatever that might look like. So I'm hoping to have some great things for you in the future. Thank you for sticking through my progress so far. And if you want to help me out, join the Discord, subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment if you know how to solve some of the problems that I bring up in these videos. Thanks for your help, everyone. I'm David. Love and peace. Peace and love. Peace out.